You don't lie to other people half as much as you lie to yourself. And you don't do it because you're stupid. You do it because the truth that you would have to face would force you to change. And you're not ready for that. People think self-deception is accidental. I don't think so. I think it's strategic. It's the emotional equivalent of turning off the lights so you don't have to see the messy room that's you've been living in for years. You lie to yourself because the truth would require an action. An action would require accountability. And accountability would require admitting that the life you're living is the one that you built, not the one that happened to you. So you create a story, a version of your life that feels safer than the real one. You tell yourself that you're busy when you're really just avoiding. You tell yourself you're trying when really you're just stalling. You tell yourself you're confused when you're really just terrified that the answer is something you already know. You tell yourself you're working on it when really you're waiting for the problem to magically solve itself. And you lie because the truth would expose the gap between you and who you would prefer to be. And that gap is where your shame lives. You don't lie to protect your feelings. You lie to protect your identity. Because if you told the truth, even one time, the entire version of yourself that you've been performing would just collapse. You'd have to admit that you stayed too long, that you settled too fast, that you ignored all the signs, that you wasted all the years, that you knew better and didn't do better. You weren't the victim. You were the accomplice. And that's the one thing that you can't let yourself feel. So you build a narrative, a softer one, a version of events where powerless or confusion, misled or unlucky. A version where you don't have choices. A version where you weren't responsible. Because responsibility is heavy. And you've spent your whole life trying to not feel the weight of your own decisions. But here's the truth that you keep dodging. You're not lying to protect your life. You're lying to protect the life that you wish you had. The version where you were the braver one. The version where you acted sooner. The version where you didn't waste time. The version where you didn't betray yourself. And the version where you didn't settle for the first thing that felt familiar. Or the version where you didn't choose comfort over growth, which means that the version where you didn't abandon your own potential would live. You lie because the truth would force you to grieve the person that you could have been. And grief is the one emotion that you never learn how to hold. So you keep the lie alive. You feed it, you defend it, you polish it, you call it your story or your truth or your journey. But down deep, you know exactly what it is. It's a shield. It's a distraction. It's a way to avoid the mirror. Because if you ever stop lying, even for 1 second, you'd have to face the one thing that you spent your entire life running from. The life where your living is the life that you chose. So, no hope, no fix, just the logic and chaos.